always commuted to and from Tracy. We'd go to church Sunday morning and drive all the way back to Modesto and then drive all the way back to Tracy and home at night. And I used to pray in the back seat, God, let them stop at McDonald's. I want McNuggets. I want McNuggets. It was right there by the freeway, man. I mean, it was a good Sunday when you got chicken nuggets, man. And I remember that. And every time we get off the freeway, we'd see the big church. We'd see Revival Center. And sometimes cars would still be here. And people would still be here hanging out in the parking lot and whatnot. And I remember that. I remember as a kid when I first started coming here, I remember I would get nervous. We would come right here down this way and we would turn. And right when we turn on 7th Street, man, I get all these butterflies. Because it was new. It was a bigger church. And I didn't know if I was going to know anybody. And I had met some kids from camp. And that's where, that's kind of where we met kids. One of the first persons I ever met was Eddie Berciago. And that's Timmy's uncle, Zoe's uncle. Eddie Berciago was one of my first friends here in Modesto because we just clicked at camp. We used to play sports together at camp. And coming here, and then I remember it was kind of like a dream come true as a kid, man. I was here, and man, I was so excited. And I remember just growing up as a teenager and different thoughts and different challenges and not understanding, God, I don't know what you're calling me to do. I want to be successful. I want to do this. I want to do that. But then I can begin to feel the call of God. And I remember being 14, feeling the call of God. Not really knowing what that even meant. Not even really knowing what it would entail. I never thought I would be youth pastor. I remember being 14 years old and certain kids, I shouldn't say kids, they weren't kids, they were young adults. They were in their 20s and some just a little bit older than that. I remember being 14 and they would come to me and say, "You're going to be the next youth pastor, huh?" And I was like, "What in the world? You're crazy. No way, I'm too young for that. There's no way." And I remember thinking these things. And I never would have dreamed. I never would have planned on it. I never thought. I never saw it coming. And I remember those things. I remember those so vividly. And as time would unfold, I was 18 years old when I started becoming youth pastor. Some people ask, how did it start? I was literally, when I first started here, I would come early and vacuum the chapel. And the youth pastor, before the youth pastor that was here for a while, he would come in and he didn't even know my name. Like, he would see me for consecutive weeks. And I would be here before him and I'd be setting up chairs and vacuuming the ugly old carpet. The old carpet all ripped up and torn up and trip more than you vacuum. And stains all over the floor everywhere. Man. They had this ugly old little platform thing over here.
The green one.
Super awkward, man. You step on it, you would like squeak. You had to be careful. You couldn't get too excited because in the back they had an area, there was a hole. You know what I mean? Not a hole in the platform, but a hole separating the platform from the wall. So like you could get excited and then you look like, oh my God, I have to be careful. And I remember the first time worship leading, and oh my God, I was so nervous and all this stuff. And I remember all that, and as I think about it, it's unreal how fast it's gone by. And I remember Pastor telling me, and I've shared this probably once or twice, I remember Pastor telling me when I had this conversation, it was actually with Bishop first, and had this conversation, well, you're going to be the official youth pastor. I was the unofficial youth pastor for like a year and a half. It was really awkward for me. I thought, well, okay, sure, they're going to bring in a couple. There's going to be a couple that'll be older, and I'm going to help them, and I'm going to do whatever I can do. I remember Bishop telling me you're going to be the youth pastor, and before that, I remember going to Pastor, what do I tell people? I'm 18. Turning 19, what do I tell people when they ask me if I'm inviting them to say, I'll just tell them you're the interim youth pastor. Okay, interim youth pastor. Okay, so that's what I would say, and then it was official. And as time has flown so by, it's been 11 and a half years, and I've had the privilege, almost 7 of those years, to serve with Ashley as a couple.
Oh.
And so I could not serve. Do what I've been doing without Ashley's support, without her help. Sometimes you don't see her. Many times on Thursday she'll be working, and other times it's when she has the boys. As you can see, they're loud and they're very, very active, and it would be beneficial to have them here in every service. And so she would help me and allow me to serve and allow me to minister, and I'm grateful for that. I love her and appreciate her. And what I'm saying tonight is something that may come as a little bit different news for you, but it's good news and it's exciting news. Because what I'm telling you tonight is this, and you're some of the first to know. Of course, Pastor is aware. This wouldn't be done without him. And he'll make an announcement to the church in a way that I can't. But I'm letting you know tonight that I will be taking a step back as youth pastor. And Brother Josh and Sister Jeanette are going to be taking a step forward. It's a little bit different. My heart has not changed. My passion has not changed. My desire has not changed. And nothing has been done that would make me say, this isn't, let me put it to you this way, as simple as I can. This isn't an overnight decision. This isn't like, man, you know what? Ray said something about me. It's not that way at all. My heart is here. My heart is with you. I love you. And I'm still going to be very much involved, but probably in a way that's going to be a little bit more behind the scenes. You're going to see me once a month here for the next few months in the service. I'm just going to be here to worship with you. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be here to worship with you. This is not something that's overnight, but this is something that's been in the process for a while now. And I would never step back. I would never step out if I didn't know that it was right. There are seasons, and there are times, and there are reasons. And God puts those things together. There's God's will, there's God's way, there's God's timing. And God has put those all together in an exciting way, in a very passionate way. And what's going to be taking place now, it might be a little bit new, it might be a little bit different, but I can promise you this, it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. My focus is still going to be somewhat on the youth in a different kind of role. You're going to see me taking on a few larger roles within the church to help pastor and assist him in ways for other ministries. But my heart, my mind, my soul, my spirit, I have the utmost confidence in Josh and Jeanette. There's something, not only are they super talented, not only are they super gifted, but something that stands out to me is, and if you haven't seen this, you will see this, is they have a heart for the students. They have a heart for the youth, for the young adults. They have a heart. Josh and Jeanette are going to lead differently than Ashley and I. Josh and Jeanette are going to do things differently than I. And that's okay. That's necessary. That's a good thing. You want somebody to lead the way they lead. You want somebody to be who they are. I could never be pastor. I could never be bishop. Pastor Johnson could never be bishop because we're not designed that way. Right. We're not made to be that way. That's not how we're supposed to be. And if we made that attempt, then we would only be doing a disservice to the people that we serve and the people that we lead. And I want you to understand this from the beginning. I want you to know this. Revival Center's future is so bright. There is a lid that is completely taken off of what we have the potential to do, of what we can do as young adults, as young people, as children, as families. And I want you to tell this. I want you to understand this when I tell you this. When I say the best is yet to come, I'm not just saying that like it's a song or like it's a cliche. I believe that. I believe that the whole purpose, we wanted to go as far as we can go. Josh and Jeanette are going to help lead this thing further. Why? Because I want him to be on my shoulders, seeing things that I didn't see, doing things that I didn't do. And why? Because I want that to happen for your life. I want that to happen for you and for others. Some of these kids that are growing up and they're going to be a part of this youth ministry. I want them to take a hold of that and see that for themselves. And I wanted to tell you tonight, this is a time that we have set, and with Pastor's permission, of course, and it's not to preach, it's not to talk very long, we're not going to take very long tonight, but it was just to tell you there's going to be some changes. There's going to be some things that are different. And I want you to love him. I want you to respect him. I want you to get behind him. I want you to get behind them both. I want you to support them both. I want you to love them both, respect them both. I'm telling you, they are going to have your best interest at heart. They're not doing this. I'm going to tell you this. you don't get into youth ministry for money. Okay? I'm going to tell you that. You don't get into youth ministry. Oh, okay. Well, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to go after the big dollars. I'm going to buy me a youth pastor. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Ministry in general, that's not how it works. But especially youth ministry. You don't. One said it like this. Youth ministry is pastoring people with no money and all attitude. Think about it for just a second. Not that you had attitude, but the person next to you did. And I wanted to take this time tonight because I want to tell you this. I love you. I couldn't say that enough. You'll never know how much I do care, how much I do respect you, how much I do appreciate you. You're not stopping from my prayers. I promise you that. You're still going to be in my prayers. I believe in you. And even though I may be taking a step back in this capacity, I'm still going to be involved in other capacities within the youth. I'm still going to be involved in other roles and other areas. I'm not leaving Revival Center. I'm not going somewhere else. I'm going to be here. You're going to see me every week. You're going to see me. Matter of fact, you'll probably see me like 3 or 4 times every week. But if you come to church. So I wanted to take this time to let you know we're not posting it. I'm not gonna go today on social media and you're gonna see me making a YouTube video.
Like and subscribe.
Not today, maybe tomorrow. Not today. So I just wanted to tell you, Pastor will announce it to the entire church when he wants to announce it. Whenever he wants to, he can do that. But I wanted to tell you. I wanted to be the one to tell you because I believe that great things are in store. I'm telling you, I believe that. I can feel the momentum. There's only growth from here. There's only good things. There's only exciting things from here. And I want Josh to come and just share a little bit of his faith tonight. Would you put your hands together for me?
Let's give Brother Jon. We will definitely be taking some time in the near future to definitely honor them for all their years of service. Tonight we wanted to do something differently, Pastor Jon and myself. We wanted to kind of do this service a little bit differently, and I felt tonight, before we go any further, I kind of felt like we need a little bit of word. And I was thinking today, just, oh my goodness, what am I going to say? I know Pastor Jon, he's just going to blow it out of the water as always because he's a tremendous speaker and everything like that. And I was always thinking, I don't know how do you express everything tonight in the way that it deserves to be? And I was thinking in my mind all throughout the scriptures, transitions, moments in time where one leadership went to another, and it was different. And one of them that jumped out to me was in 2 Samuel chapter number 2, verse 9. And if you're not familiar with this is when Elijah is taken up. I'm not saying Pastor Jon is going to be taken up, but and Elisha is there with him. And let's just keep that scripture up there. There's this moment where Elisha knows what's about to happen. And I can imagine in Elisha's mind, as they're traveling across the Jordan River, and they're getting to the place where Elijah knows he's going to be taken up, Elisha is thinking and reflecting on all that he's been through with his mentor. And tonight, I believe that we're at that moment. We're in this moment of, now that it's been announced, we're just kind of in this moment of reflection, thinking about everything that we've come through. And as I've said, in the near future, we will take time and honor them both. The Quinones family will show different things that they've done, but thinking about, I've been under Pastor Jon almost my entire youth life. Like, I came into the youth group when I was only 13 years old, and I did not know anything at all about church. And even though I was born and raised in it, I had no recollection. I didn't know too much. But I do remember when I was 13 years old and I just come into church, and I met Pastor Jon for the first time. And I was nervous. He doesn't know this. I was really nervous to meet him. He was like, I want to say he was about 18 years old. And already, I didn't know what to say around him. Like, I just felt so awkward, How many of you have ever been there before? You meet, like, someone great, and you just get tongue-tied. That's exactly how I felt around Brother Jon. He would be in the meetings, in the youth leadership meetings and everything, and every time he spoke, everyone was like, and every time, Brother Jon would just always have these amazing ideas and everything. And, I was under that youth pastor at that time. He taught me a whole lot. But then when Pastor Jon came to be the youth pastor, I want to say, was it 06, 05? 06. In the summer of 06, it was July, where it became official because that was the same night that Signs from the Times came out and all of that. And I remember when Pastor Jon first came up, he looked like Pastor Jon. Even though he was only 20 at that time, 20 years old, and he already looked the part. This mighty man of God already at that time. Thinking about all that has transpired since then, all the great movements of God. I remember being in here on so many nights in here, and I remember we packed out the house. We packed this place till the overflow, till we got out the door. We had whole sections of people sitting out the door just to be a part of the service. Now, we averaged about 150 to about 200 young people in this chapel. It was insane. And that was under the leadership of Pastor Jon. And for the very first time in the history of our church, he took us out there into the main sanctuary. Where we averaged, on a lot of the nights, almost 400 young people. That's under his leadership. So many of us that have come before him, or come under him, we've learned so much from him. We've learned so much from his leadership. We've learned so much how to be men and women of God, how to be prayer warriors, how to be worshipers. Maybe you guys didn't know this, but Brother Jon used to worship lead for the main church. And he used to do an amazing job every time. And I remember one of those nights that he worship led, I was able to finally be a praise singer under him. And I was starstruck the whole time. It was very difficult to be a praise team member under Brother Jon because he was a true worship leader that everyone would follow into worship with. He's a tremendous man. And that every single one of you being under him, you are blessed. And the years that you have spent under him, you will never forget them. And I can imagine Elisha in that moment, thinking about everything that Elijah had done, seeing the miracles, hearing about what had happened with the great rain and everything, the abundance of rain and fire falling down from heaven, And maybe, just maybe, Elisha may have seen some of those things. And he'd seen the miracles that Elijah did. And in that moment where Elijah was about to be taken up, Elisha says this to Elijah. Well, Elijah says to him, "Ask, what may I do for you before I am taken away from you?" And Elisha says a very peculiar thing. "Please, let a double portion of your spirit be upon me." And that right there, I think, encapsulates what this moment must be. Because we've looked at our past. We've looked at the youth groups that have come before us. We've seen through the years, under Pastor John, we've probably seen close to maybe 3 or even 4 different youth groups under him, where we've come and we've seen the greatest of miracles, and we've been in some very low moments, but we've always triumphed in God through it all. Amen. And we can see through all of that, God, let us have a double portion of that. For all of those great and mighty things that were poured out these last 11 and a half years, let there be a double portion of that upon us. Not the leadership, but upon all of us, upon this youth group. And I want to speak this into you, and I'm closing with this, that as we rise up as a youth group and we transition in this moment, it may be a little scary, it may be a little sad, because we're losing, in a sense, our Pastor John here. But at the same time, we are going into an uncertain and unknown future. We're going into a place where we've never been before. And we are going into that place where God now is dwelling. Because He's already in this future. He already has it in His hands. Right. And He's already in control of it. But we must go now. Now, all those youth groups that have come before us, prophecies have been made over them, promises have been made over them. They have gone through such great, miraculous things. But all through that, we must strive to desire the double portion. Right. A double portion of the prophecies. A double portion of the promises. A double portion of the miracles. Right. A double portion of the anointing. A double portion of the favor in our lives. A double portion of our money. A double portion of our influence. A double portion of our impact on this city. Because you see, at this moment, we are not going to be a youth group that stops and says, okay, it's a different leadership, we're not going any further. But now we are truly going to live that name that we have in motion. And we are going further than we ever have before. We are going higher than we've ever gone before. We are going deeper in God than we ever have before. Because at this time, God is calling us to be impact makers. He is calling us to be disciple makers. Right. He is calling us to be committed, consecrated, and set on Him, that we will never turn back. In Jesus' name. The leadership under Pastor John has been tremendous. But in the future, where God is taking us, where God is saying, let's go, let's launch out, is even greater than the days that we have already seen. And let me say this to you. It will not be because of me. It will not be because of Jeanette, who I love and who I am deeply committed to. It will not be because of the new leadership team that we have. It will not be for any of those reasons. It's because of you that we are going. It's because of every single one of us that is here tonight. If we make this commitment here, if we make this
line in the sand that says we are going further in God than we ever have before. That is what will make the difference. That is what will take us to the double portion. When we here tonight commit and say, God, this is it. My future is yours. The youth group, the church, this city, this nation, this world. We have the power to impact all of it with the double portion that we are about to receive if we commit to it.
Right.
As a youth group, I will love you. I will serve you. I will give everything that I possibly can to you. But we will not remain where we've always been.
Right.
We have been called to greater things. We have been called to even a huge amount of more blessings than we have even tapped into. This is our future.
Yes.
Not this. Everyone around you.
Right.
The future is that we will expand out of here.
Absolutely.
The future is that we will not even have to go into the main sanctuary because one day we will have our own building.
All
as
right.
a youth group.
Amen.
The idea is one day that we will be known as In Motion throughout the entire city, where every youth pastor, every youth group will know our name. And will know that we are from Revival Center and that we are the ones with the truth and the life of Christ. Our future is set in stone by the power and the might of God. There are greater things before us than ever imagined. Do you receive that tonight?
Amen. Believe it.
Do you believe that tonight?
Believe it.
In Jesus' name.
Believe it. Believe it. I want you to stand with me tonight. Scott, if you don't mind, go ahead.
I agree in behind 100% the faith, the desire, the passion of Josh and Jeanette. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. My heart is heavy tonight. My heart's heavy. It collides. Your heart collides with what is being done, what has been done, what hasn't been done. Lives, mind is full of them. It flashes before you. And it's heavy. It's heavy. I'm doing my best to stay composed. You are more special than words can say. You mean more to me, to my wife and I. You mean more to this church than you realize. You hear it often that you are the strength of the church. The youth is the strength of the church. The youth is the strength of the church. That's not a lie. That's the truth. Your energy, your passion, your desire, the church will go as you go. You get hungry for God, all of a sudden the church starts getting hungry for God. You get crazy about outreach, all of a sudden the church starts getting crazy about outreach. You start baptizing friends, all of a sudden the church starts getting... I'm telling you, that's how it works. That's how it works. And don't ever change. Don't ever change. Let it only intensify. Let it only get more. I remember one conversation specifically, and I love Raymond. He's here tonight, and we joke, and I always give him a hard time. I appreciate him so much. But I remember so many years ago, sitting there, I would take him home. Even before I was married, he would drive home, and I remember the situations and things that he was going through at home, the difficulties, not easy at all. And I remember sometimes we'd go and get him food, and we'd just kind of eat, we'd hang out, we'd talk. And a few times ask, man, I know the way that Ray can, really exuberant, really excited, super passionate. I said, man, what can I do for you, Brother John? How can I pay you back? How can I pay you back? What can I do for you? And I remember so many times looking at him and telling him, Ray, there's only one thing I want. And tonight it's not just Raymond that I'm looking at. But it's every face, every individual. Some that I've known for a long time, some that are brand new. But I answer this question. I said, Ray, I don't want anything. I don't want your money. I don't want that. You don't ever pay me back. That's not what I'm asking you to do. I only want one thing. I only want one thing, emotion. I only want one thing, Josh. I only want one thing, Jeanette. I only want one thing. Live for God. I look at him and I say, Ray, I know what you're battling. I know what you're going through. I know how difficult it is. And it would break my heart as I would drive away wondering, God, I wish I had a home big enough. I wish I had a center that I could build for the youth of Modesto. I wish I could build something, God, a family center. I wish I had the resources and the money to take kids out of the situation, to take youth and young adults from what they were going through. But I don't have that. And I remember looking at him and saying, all I want is for you to live for God. That's it. That's it. You don't ever have to clap for me. You don't ever have to do anything for me. You don't ever have to pay me back. You don't have to pat me on the back. You don't have to do anything. All I'm asking you to do is just live for God, man. Live for God when you mess up. Live for God when you're depressed. Live for God when you fall. Live for God when things don't go your way. Live for God when people talk about you. Live for God when they make fun of you. Live for God when you don't have any money. Live for God when everything's going well. Live for God when everybody's against you. Live for God when you're all by yourself. Live for God when you're on the mountaintop. Live for God when you're on the valley. I'm telling you today, you live for God. You don't do it for me, and you do it unto God. And it doesn't matter what you go through. It doesn't matter what you're faced with. You make a decision. I'm going to live for God. I'm going to mess up. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to fall. I'm going to get hurt. But I am going to live for God with everything that I have. I want you tonight, if you do this, I want you to come up to this altar as close as you possibly can, as close as you possibly can. And I want you to link up with people around you. I know maybe you don't normally pray with the person you're standing by possibly, but I want you to link up. I want you to link up every young man. I don't want nobody praying by themselves. Every young lady, every young man, I want you to link up. This is how we're going to end tonight. We're going to pray. We're going to pray. We're going to pray. We're going to pray. We'll have a special time as a church, as it's announced. We'll have a special prayer for Josh and Jeanette as they lead and take unto uncharted territory, to greatness and wonderful things. But tonight you're not praying for me. Tonight you're praying for you. Tonight you're praying for this body. Tonight you're praying for each and every individual that is here. We're going to sing and we're going to worship. But right now we're going to pray. And I want you to do this today. This is how we're ending tonight. This is how we're ending tonight. I want you to lift your voice. And I want you right now, I want you to pray for the person next to you, because God's got greater. Because God's got awesome things. God's got things you never dreamed of. God can see gymnasiums filled tonight. I can see P7 clubs and campus ministries. I can see that today. I can see you leading the worship at the altar. I can see you leading the all-night prayers. I can see you leading it. I see that today. I see you preaching and teaching. I see you on outreach today. I see you winning the lost. I see you helping your family. I see you helping friends. I see prayers being answered that you thought were impossible. I want you to pray with me right now. Would you do that? I want you to lift your voice, and I want you to pray for the person next to you. Pray for the people you're connected to. Pray for those that are around. I'm not stopping. I'm not quitting.
four other leaders, you knew their name. You understood their strengths and their weaknesses, God. There's nothing you cannot do with them. There is nothing that you cannot do. Come on, would you help me pray tonight? Would you pray for each other? Would you pray for your strength? Would you pray for your mind? Would you pray for revival? Would you pray for the health within your body, within your mind, within your heart, within your soul? What is God going to do in your life? Why don't you start declaring it? What is God going to do in me? Why don't you start praying and believing in that? Why don't you start declaring God's going to change me? God's going to work on my behalf. God's going to do something in me that I never thought possible. God's going to do something that I never thought could take place. Maybe I've been a little cold and on the sidelines. Not anymore. I'm getting involved. Not anymore. I'm moving forward. I'm moving forward. I'm moving forward. Come on, would you take a minute? Would you take a minute? Would you cry out to God? Would you cry out to God? More
myself
thank you so much for taking time to be here tonight. Again, what I shared with you tonight will be shared to the church at the appropriate time, but I just wanted you to know, Joshua, I wanted it to be you as the young people, youth and young adults, the ones that we serve to know. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for taking time to be here. And we don't see you Friday and Saturday. We'll definitely see you on Sunday. We love you guys.
I know that you really want to be so that's why I thought about it. And then Noah, I can go and do it. So that's what I would like. If you guys want to do it, so you're okay with that? And you're okay with that?
Let's see what it is. Let's see what it is.
You found one, dude?
In a battle. Oh my god. That's so. Oh, what a disappointment.
That's your team,
To make sure that they're okay.
Maybe.
I'm gonna be like halfway of the argument finish the other half. So, but yeah, so I'll let you know. I'll let you do it. It's gonna be like a full time. Or if I don't play, whatever.
You're the leader of the musician.
So, you guys being kind of like the voices, I think that's a fantastic idea. So, that makes your job easier. And next
You draw mine, so you got to take all of mine. What else? This one? Or the pineapple one? It smells like when you walk into like one of those. Dude! How much was it? Oh. Dude, it smells good. I'm like trying to think like a couple sprays. Mix it with water. Or just take this one.
Oh yeah, the stack. You know what? I'm just gonna go like this. Maybe we should just put it all in one stand and kill it. We can do that.
That'd be easier. I don't know. It'd be safer. All we have to do is take that and just flash or nothing. That's it. Oh, you got it? How about the big chair? Here we go.
tramp stamp.
That's the worst stack I've ever heard in my life. I don't know how Shane got that one. I think I ruined it. My arrow would be like, okay.
Yeah, even the dude, it was like.
Did you play on Wednesday?
Yeah.
I played Hango. Oh, it's tournament. Yeah. Oh, that's fine. Problem solved. Hold on. That sounded like Shane. Hold on, dude. Have you ever talked to him? You talked to him, right? Hey, Jay, I'm gonna be Shane right now. Watch, ready? I got him down. Oh, excuse me, bud. I'm gonna get this tightened. Where's Ethan at? Ethan. Where's my snare? Get my snare. Man, that thing's got a pop. Like, and I'm like, like, somebody moved his nose, and whether it's like half a centimeter, he's like, no, dude, somebody's been in here. He knows.
The kick, like, it heavy.
Oh, it's so much forward. I'm telling you, dude, it's so hard to get in now. When Jeremiah made this or whatever, he made Shane so upset because like there's no room for like a China. Yeah, and he's like, I'm like squeezed in here, like. Yeah, because the China was like real big or whatever, so he couldn't even fit it in. He was like, Jeremiah.
I was kind of kicked on too.
Yeah, that right side's more of like you just got, that's all you can do. Is that it? Is that right? That's quickly back.
Oh, he's on it. Okay.
Right? Get over. They really are trying to true. Right through. I'm like, you guys go?
Going down.
Try to true.
We already tried that one. It almost worked. I need to FaceTime you guys so you can see.
60?
In the youth chapter.
That's what I'm talking about. Oh my god. It's like he's like typing.
She's sick. She had a fever. She was throwing up last night.
Hey, you gotta come to the house. You gotta come to the house of the Lord to get healed.
Yes, we gotta get touched by the Lord.
Yeah.
We'll pray for you right now.
Oh Lord, right now. Oh.
I'm serious. I'm serious. Lord, you come before you right now and pray the light on her body. Yes.
You receive it?
Right here.
Yeah, hopefully, it's going to be interesting.
It's just a long road. One way. Like that's it. Yeah.
You want all the traffic and stuff.
No, I actually on the way up here.
I mean, we're not going. We're not going out.
Yeah.
Am I taking you guys home?
Music was so loud. We left service and then the car showed up. Bro, that was the first thing that popped in my head. The second thing was when you were like when you're like, and then I remember my first name was James. And then I was like, so Elijah, like I said, okay,
Thomas Baker.
Wait, I'm introducing
This
you to him.
is Thomas Baker.
You can also say
Thomas
most classes already have integrated
He can't see.
further development there in English language. But when it comes to designated ELA, that's when I can speak, that's when I can teach on the level of the students. Or I can have language as the core.
Don't deaf people learn like
you're not sure.
they learn how to read lines.
And then the cool part is you know how the craft conversations I learned about designated, like other talking designated. They go like this. I keep talking to them, they'll go like this. Or they'll go like this, or they'll go like this, or they'll go like this. That's my favorite one. This means all I see. Like, all I see.
Like the way we talk.
So if you're telling me a story,
The way we talk about our facial expressions, we talk about
that's it, yeah. One side is right here.
What about
That's what he was saying. Because it's like the guy that was like, he was like, if you're from Thailand, you was doing all the time when you're talking about you got such a bad personality. Like, there's not much you have to learn because you don't have
Designated
he's like a teacher.
as the core subject.
Like whatever, like
Remember that?
like he'll be like
You say that's when
no, like instead of like this, like this. Like that's what he said. So like that's my first like whatever comes to say, I'm gonna grab it. Two or just shake hands, but like that was I was like,
Reality. I use reality for the classroom. I use sign language to help.
Have you been to church? Or had to do church?
things like that. That's class.
This is college.
Is it? Higher learning.
This means teacher. Is this teacher? Student.
I know, I think like
It's so cool. Like that. Like being like doing it so fast. Oh my, late and fast. Like the guys that like you might get like it's like this fast. Like that fast. And they know what you're saying.
it's like how when people first learn English, they're like, what? You know,
Like it's like going like this lesson. Right, you're right. And you start getting. You know why? Because your brain starts looking at and do it. And it used to be like this. And what's up, man? No, this two grades. It's like this. Because that looks so. Because if you're so fast, it almost looks like
What about
Oh, you can make your own sign.
I don't understand that sign.
If you want, you can make your own sign for your name. More friends.
She did this.
All I can say is some of the teachers are choir you can be hired.
I'll walk up to you and be like, hey, I want you to do this for me. You're gonna do it. Okay, so I'm gonna pick that up.
I've been to you.
Your jacket.
I was actually pretty good.
Shake your head.
Sorry about that.
And then if you really don't know, then you go. No, you go 2X. You go 2X. You go just
Well, it helped that I already did great. Once I hit that,
barely 2 weeks. I got a
so I feel you'll be fine.
I know.
No matter what you get.
No matter what, just take it up. You gotta practice. You don't learn things, you gotta practice.
Literally. Bye.
I think sometimes it's real fast.
Thank you very much. But if you're gonna stand sauce, do the stand sauce. I was
I just felt that right now.
Talk about sound so good right now.
There you go.
Andrea, my she for 4 years lesson plan from last year, so I was able to just see which one.
No, it is fine.
See you all.
I guess because it can be confusing.
I'm not gonna take it. I just throw your neck up to the line.
Oh, okay.
So K-R-I-N. Go like this. Go like this. S-T-I. S-T-Y. The robots. K-R-I-S-T-Y. Let's do the last part. K-R-I-S-T-Y. K-R-I-S-T-Y. You know the rules! Oh yeah! Noah, this might be GG. Bro, I can watch that over and over forever. Just give me the context, like the first play. Super good. Wow, we get Billy, we're gonna get beat up. We got Christy. Christy will take everything now. She gets steamed.
Not anymore.
You know that? Like you get ready to slide one. Okay, right. Fuck up. Like, oh, now he goes going up the straightaway. The car can't have it.
Oh, I could.
What do you get?
Oh, yeah. Where'd you play?
Dude, we're like that. We're basically like, think about it. Oh, burn those rubbers! We did make a front picture. We got the new, what do you got?
I don't like that.
What's that, man? Like, just let Patrick Scott know. Like, don't say anything after. Wait for him in the parking lot. Just go. They're going right.
Oh god.
You're gonna get us wet. Do it. Stop. Holy shit. Straight. Straight like this.
Oh golly.
Oh, that was on you. That was on you. Hey, we're going to the one right here. No, we're going to the one right here. Paradise. It's new. It's brand new. Yeah, just keep going all the way straight down this road. You'll be there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's open.
You literally, I get on this. Okay. Yeah. Follow us, but it's literally just straight down this road.
Isn't she going that way?
That a way? No, we're going this way. This way. It's all the way down the street. Right? There. I'm rolling that way. That's cool. Yeah. So we're
What
going to do
is
it.
the way to act?
Huh?
Yeah.
That's how I roll.
That's
roll
how
it
they
fun.
have to. What are you guys doing? Okay, but like,
I play my blessings in advance.
She's going to do a somersault.
Oh, Gabe is getting it broken
All right.
after all.
bad idea, but have a great way.
Splashing.
You know the rules! Right now,
No the rules. Oh my god.
next time, I'll remember, I got boots, you don't got boots with it. Hey, look at that puddle! Natalie, woo! And then,
Oh god. You said
hey, every time Natalie comes to church, she's like, I'm a visitor. You can do that.
Like this?
Yeah,
This
the back.
is-
It's a connector. Oh my gosh, my phone.